understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. I see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fires going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take you for your money, whatever else bring. And I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me. Making such a fuss, and I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. 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 Guitar Players Planet.
There we go. How's it going, everybody? Dan Higgins here with Eric Coles and the rest of the gang. So welcome to our Friday night. It's Friday already. This week just went Friday night edition of AstroWorld TV, and we normally do this as a beginner's Q&A, but it's it kind of evolved into other things, and now we got guests on almost every night, and we're happy to have Eric from the Astro Imaging Channel and a well-known astrophotographer, and he's going to be showing us a bunch of things, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and see what he's got up to over at TAIC. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Stick around, and we're going to have a great time with the group and with Eric. So before we go crazy and have we got to say thank you to our sponsors. So thank you to our main sequence level sponsors, Woodland Hills Camera and Telescopes, as well as Night Skies Network. They both have donated quite well to the campaign here, so thank you to them. And then let's see what happened. And this. There we go. And then after that, we got our Red Giant level sponsors, Prima Luce Lab, Camera Concepts, and Optolong. So get ready for the Prima Luce Lab giveaway. We got a custom eagle, which is going to be shown at AIC at the end of the month. So if you're going to AIC, stop by the Prima Luce Lab. you'll see the Eagle 4 Pro Eclipse, and it's going to be at AIC on display. And even Filippo doesn't know what it looks like, so it's going to be fun. He's going to do a live reveal, and I'm going to record it. We're going to put it on the show. It's going to be great. And then we got Camera Concepts, who gives us gift certificates to give away, and Optolong just went nuts and gave us a bunch of filters to give away. We're going to be giving away a set of filters almost once a month until the end of the year. So that if you're not involved with any of these giveaways, sign up on astroworldweb.com at the bottom of the page. Sign up for which ones you want to go into, and then you'll be on the wheel. We also got to say thank you to Masters of PixInsight and IP for AP, we're giving away a free workshop tonight for Masters of PixInsight. Their next workshop is Photons to Photos #7, and they're going to be doing. Actually, Warren Keller is going to be just processing an M13 with one-shot color camera from beginning to end. So in 2 hours, $35 you can get in, but you can win it here if you win tonight. So that's great. And thank you also to our member sponsors, all of our member sponsors, our Black Hole members, our main Red Giant members, and our main Sequence members. Thank you so much to everybody. If you want to become a member, join our Patreon membership. Go to our Patreon page. If you don't have it, I'll throw it in the chat and YouTube, and you guys could come and hang out with us, and you get nice perks like shirts and hats and all that kind of stuff. And our Protostar members, Kieran and Greg, thank you so much. As you know, tonight we have Eric Coles from TAIC. Next Friday, we have Maxi Falieres from Argentina, who's a friend of mine who does astrophotography from Argentina. He's going to be showing us some of his processes and routines. And then we got on May 25th, we got Chris Woodhouse, author of Capturing the Universe. And that's going to be pretty cool. He's going to be on. And in between there, we have do-it-yourself roll-off roof observatory maker Kurt Lanes is going to be coming on as well. So that's going to be a super interesting show. So if you don't like YouTube and you like to see us anywhere else, or you got questions, check us out on Discord, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can get all the pictures from all the guys and see what we're up to and ask any questions you want. We're mostly on Discord, but we're on all the rest. So thank you so much for listening to my 7-minute banter. And then we are back live with Scott's Empty Couch. And so how's it going, Eric? What's happening? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. It's Friday. It's actually been a good week. We're outside of Chicago. We went from near freezing a week ago, and it was 95 yesterday, and just the weather has been crazy. It's great for my garden, though, and it's good if you're a solar imager.
Yeah, lots of rain. We got tons of rain here. It's been rainy for like 9 days straight on Long Island. It's been nuts.
And if you're in California, they got a drought and the reservoirs are down, and that's where I'm going next week. And I'm wondering whether we could maybe ship them a few buckets of water. I think they'd appreciate it.
Just go walking with. They'll let you take it on the plane, no problem. Just bring a big igloo.
I think what they're doing in California, they're planning to do a pipeline so they could drain Lake Michigan and then water all of California.
Eric will not like that so much.
No, I don't think our governor is going to let that happen.
No.
Anyway, I don't know. I have some things that I've kind of queued up that we can talk about, but
sure.
Maybe the first thing to do is kind of show you my setup at the Sierra Remote Observatory. I got it up here on the screen, and you got a little different video. Let's see if I can punch the right button to.
Yeah, it's the one that says right in the middle.
Toggle
I think
screen. Yeah, the little red guy.
Yep.
Let's see if we can bring that up.
And then I'll make you big in a second. Where's the auxiliary? There you go.
And I think I'm sharing a screen.
See that? And let me just make it large. Where is auxiliary? And there we go. So there you go. Awesome.
So those of you who don't know, this is one of the big buildings in the Sierra Remote Observatories, which is about 30 miles up into the Sierras from Fresno. It's on the front side of the Sierra, so we have very, very nice clean skies, seeing conditions 200 nights a year. And on a good night, I've seen it got down to about 0.8 arc seconds per pixel, which is
Wow.
kind of super for collecting data. Routinely, we run about maybe 1 to 1.25 seeing on any clear night. It actually
Nice.
gets to the point, and please, don't yell at me or anything, but we actually have so many clear nights, we just run out of targets. And I mean
Okay.
that seems kind of like odd, but 3.5 years ago, I bought a Riccardi Honda's telescope from
Yeah.
Astrophysics, and after 3 years, I literally ran out of targets. There was like nothing more to shoot. So I sold that whole setup, and now I got myself a 20-inch CDK on an L mount. And actually, the cameras you see here, this is Shed 12, and I have a bigger picture, but this guy right here, back in the corner, I have a big picture I'll get up to in a minute. This
Yes.
is my setup right here. But let's close that down here. Let's bring up my little personal cam. Oh, by the way, I'll discuss this in a couple minutes.
It's all
This
Voyager.
is Voyager.
Yep.
This is Voyager, and we have an automation program running on top of it. So let's bring up my little personal camera. So this is the 20-inch CDK, and it's actually pointing to a flat panel, which is just off to the right, and it's on an L500 mount. And this little structure you see down here is a 650-pound offset pier. And the reason you need that is because all that weight is
On the
hanging
end.
off the end
Yeah.
of the wedge. And if you didn't have that, there'd be a tremendous amount of torque. So the pier is really right underneath the scope, and then the offset pier, provides kind of the counterbalance to it, so it doesn't want to, if not fall over, really stress things out. So I'm going to close this up. Now, if you haven't seen an L mount move, oh, this is fun.
Oh
Let
yeah.
me just. This thing is fast as I would curse now, but I guess you can't do it if you're going to put it out
Oh,
on
I
YouTube.
accidentally
So I won't.
dropped the F-bomb, I think twice last week by
I
accident.
won't do this. But
No.
this is this is fast as you can imagine. I don't even have it going fast. So let's just give it a little command. Let's just home them out.
Oh my God.
And that's slow. This thing goes at 50 degrees per second if you want.
Yeah.
And so now this is its home position,
That's
which
just
is the position.
crazy fast.
That's awesome.
And what's more, there's no flipping here. I mean, it just rolls right over. And I think I could see. Let me see if I could turn around here. I don't really do this very much. Where's it? Well, it's home. Let's put it back in park position. Now there's a control right here, which I don't really use. Let's see, where's the little jog control? Settings, joystick control. Let's bring that little guy up. No, we're not going to do that. So anyway, let's just pass on that. Certainly, what I'm going to do is just mess this thing up.
And that's
Anyway,
the, that's the
the
500 mount, right?
That's the 500.
Yeah.
So if I went to the 24, which was not within my budget, of course, I would go with the 600 mount. But these L mounts are a dream.
Yeah.
Nothing against any of the other mounts, but these things are not geared. They're all harmonic mounts. I was actually out to the manufacturing facility, which is now in Michigan, when they to watch some of their processes. It's just an amazing facility, and I can't say enough about it.
Yeah, one of our
So
members, Mark Ellis, just got his 350, and he's been showing it off to us.
yeah, that's a great little mount. Now these are great for reflectors. They're not the best mounts for long refractors
Yeah,
because basically that base is too close, and it'll so if you get yourself like a 150 refractor and a camera hanging off the end of it, it wouldn't fit. But for these big reflectors, it is the mount to get.
yeah,
So
it's an
let's
awesome
close
mount.
this little sucker down. So this thing, automation, well, that's their control right now. So the automation right here is Voyager. Some of you are probably familiar with Voyager.
Yep.
So it is not a complete automation, but we have an automation script written on top of this. So basically what it's doing right now, it's kind of waiting until the roof opens and it gets dark. And then in the end, it's going to run a sequence tonight. And every hour, it's going to recalculate for a sequence. And then in the morning, I just simply open up a file. And this is what I ran last night. And I download it. And the way that's done is I have a NAS sitting right here to my right. This is an 8-bay NAS, and it's a Synology NAS. So I have this mounted here remotely. And so I just open up, well, this should be open, but I rebooted here a moment ago. So as I scroll down, you will see so these are all the files that I have. And right now, I think I have about 20 terabytes of data. And
Holy
I have
cow.
the 8-bay NAS is up here. And then I started to get worried, even though we have a standby drive. So I got another 5-bay NAS, which is down in the basement. And I just simply take last night's collection, drag it over, drop it here, and it's downloaded. Well, and that's kind of my setup.
Nice.
And
And
what
how long
else
have
do we
you had
use here?
this set up?
The 20-inch.
Yeah.
The 20-inch. When did we get that? I think we got it up and operating last November.
Okay.
And it took a little while to get everything kind of tuned in, but I've been collecting and posting images since about December, and I think I've got about 24 images so far up till today. A couple of them I'm still working on. So why don't we
Well, I tell you,
log up?
having the weather that you're having at this remote observatory, I can't, and the clear skies you're getting, I'm really envious,
Yeah, I think we all
It's
are.
Yeah.
it's not fair.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's not fair.
it's not fair. This all came about. It's an interesting well, it's an interesting story to me. I'll keep sharing. We don't have to see my face here. Tell the story. I would guess about 6 years ago, we had Mike Miller. I don't know if you know who Mike is. He came on the Astro Imaging channel and he gave a presentation showing his setup out at the SRO.
Okay.
And I was watching that thinking, I got to be there because I am from Chicago. I don't know Bordeaux 15, whatever I got out here, which is
Right.
terrible. And so the next day, I wrote an email to they have the info at the SierraRemoteObservatories.com.
Yep.
And I said, I'm looking, if there's someone looking for an imaging partner, I'd like to hear from them. And the next day, Mel Helm, one of the owners of the Astro Imaging channel, I'm one of the owners of the SRO, wrote back and say, "You want to be my imaging partner?" And I said, "Yes." It's like I couldn't. Yes, yes, sure,
Nope.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right off the bat.
Yeah, it was like, well, it'll cost it. I said, "Yes, just yes." And for up until last December, we were imaging partners for about 5.5, 6 years, and did very well. Mel wasn't real actively involved, but his name went on all my images.
Mhm.
And I think up to that point, we had about 11 APODs out of this. I mean, it was just incredible run. Now, sadly, I don't know if you heard, but you probably don't know who Mel is, but he tragically died in a diving accident in some local lake, and that was like terrible, terrible day.
It was
Oh
just
my
a month or
God.
so ago.
It was December. I think it was
Yeah.
December 19th or 20th. And so I've been kind of imaging on my own. Be nice to have another imaging partner, but in the meantime, I'll just keep going. And Mel was a young, vigorous guy. I mean, he's young to me. He was like 55. And he's really been missed. He was very supportive of everything I wanted to do, of any target I wanted to go after, and it was a great period. Well, I don't want to be modeling here too much, but so
And
you
how long
see
have you been,
here,
let me ask you a question. How long have you been with the Astro Imaging channel? I'm kind of curious.
I don't want to say almost from the beginning, but maybe within a year once they started.
Okay. And how long has that been?
What was that?
I'm trying to think. I would have to look back. I think 8 or 9 years.
Oh wow.
It was started. Adam started it before I joined, but I was just looking for some place where we could meet other people who do astrophotography and learn a little bit about more. And all our shows are posted. We've covered about every topic imaginable that relates to astrophotography. Anyway, I thought that I would do something that I have a special interest in, and I don't know what our audience is interested in, but kind of a couple of things, how to kind of extract more detail out of narrowband imaging, and also some nuances for the Hubble palette. Does
That'd be
that
great.
sound something? Is that
Absolutely.
all right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
All
awesome.
right. So
Yeah.
I do things a little bit differently, but I kind of, when I was imaging here in Chicago, I really had narrowband was all I could do. I mean, there was no doing RGB.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could read a newspaper by our night sky without the moon.
I feel you
terrible.
coming from Bortle 8.5 Long Island. I feel you.
Here, I don't know if it's worse or better than here, but it's not good. But
it's not good.
But we found out that we could do narrowband, and the thrill when I first got a narrowband filter and I saw an image come through, and I was going, wow, this is what I want to do. Now, once I got out to the SRO, of course, we do narrowband when the moon is out, and we do LRGB when the moon is down. So I really do both now. But my roots are in narrowband imaging. And in case you don't recognize what you see in front of you, this is a starless image of Eta Carina, which is some imaging I did with Martin Pugh down in Australia. And I don't know if you know Martin, but he has more APODs than God. And I hope to see him at the AIC, but I'm not sure he's going to make the trip up there because Australia is kind of in a mucky situation between fires and floods and COVID.
Yeah, right.
So if you don't know already that the 3 narrowband image filters that we have are hydrogen alpha, which is red, sulfur 2, which is also red, and oxygen 3, which is kind of blue-green. Those are the emission lines for those 3 elements. And since they're so narrow, and this was all done with 3 nanometer filters, we can screen out all the light pollution, and we can extract out a lot of the detail, a structure of primarily, but not exclusively, nebulas. So what you see here, I think I have, this is, let me see, which image do I have up here? I got to, sorry, this print is kind of small.
That's okay.
So this is a hydrogen alpha of Eta Carina. This is a starless image. But the original image that I started with is the starred image. So what I'm going to describe now is called tone mapping. And that is assigning particular colors in RGB to particular emissions, in this case, narrowband emissions of those 3, of sulfur, hydrogen, and oxygen. And this is really the same process. This mapping of colors is the same thing they use on all of the space telescopes, because you might have 8 or 9 or who knows how many different filters, and you have to map it onto a color palette that we can see, even if it might be in the X-ray or in the infrared or the ultraviolet. So the idea of mapping on an RGB spectrum is really kind of old news. And we, as kind of earthbound astrophotographers, just use the 3 filters and map it to an RGB palette. Now, before I go into that, let me see if I could bring up one other thing, because I was experimenting with something. Let me see. Do we have pics inside? Maybe I'll save that for a little bit later, because there are some stretching routines that I've been playing with that I might want to demonstrate. So I got these 3 filters. Oh, not there. That's, you know what, that's a cat's eye.
Yep.
We're working on that. So we have oxygen 3, hydrogen alpha, and sulfur. And let me just undo the starless. So these are what the starred images look like. Now, the problem is, if you try to map the stars image onto an RGB palette and assign them different colors, the stars are different sizes. And so what you end up doing is you get a bunch of, look at the sulfur. So you map that onto red, and those stars are big. And so you end up with red halos around all your stars. And the stars in hydrogen alpha are really tiny, because those are very strong emissions. So you got to take out the stars before you can do a decent mapping without having these colored halos and having to wrestle with those. So the first thing you usually do after you've kind of stretched out your narrowband images is take out the stars. Now, there's various ways to do this. I just did it with Star Exterminator, but you can do it in PixInsight. You can do it manually in Photoshop. These were done with Star Exterminator. I'm not saying that's the best or the worst, but it's a workable thing and works in Photoshop. So how do we map these into an RGB palette? Well, the convention is, and I think it's the same convention that the Space Telescope people use when they map, is that the longer wavelength are mapped into red, the next one is mapped into green, and the next one is mapped into blue. That's kind of the convention, and that's how these Hubble palette images were generated initially. So what is the longest wavelength? Well, it's actually sulfur 2, which happens to be read as hydrogen alpha, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So I'm going to copy this whole thing, and I'm going to make a new image, and we're going to make it color RGB. And I'm going to paste it in there. Now, right now, if I look, did it make color? Yeah, I think it did. So if you look at the 3 channels, they're all the same color, right? Because we haven't changed anything. But we're only going to keep the sulfur in the red channel. I'm going to go back and get the next shortest wavelength, and that is hydrogen alpha. I'm going to mark it all, copy it, bring it over to our new image, open up channels and put it into the green channel. Now hydrogen alpha is in green, sulfur is in red. Now we'll go back and get oxygen, mark all, copy. I'm going to put that in the blue channel. And that's our initial mapping. And now if I look at that, my gosh, look at that. It's done, isn't it? No, it's not.
It's never done.
It's never done. But this looks pretty good. I mean, why would you muck around with that? And so if I go back and I take the hydrogen alpha, now I'm going to take the starred image and to mark that all, copy it. And I'm going to put it right on top. And I'm going to make that, how are we going to blend that? We're going to make it the luminosity layer. If you can't see it, I'm choosing luminosity. And that image is done, isn't it? Well, look, I mean, it's a nice image. What do I want to do with that? Of course, that's a leading question because I am going to do something with that. So let's turn off this luminosity. And I'm going to go over here to the histogram and I'm going to select the colors. Now, the whole idea in tone mapping, and again, Itacarin is really an unfair kind of image to work with because all these emissions are really strong.
Yeah.
What I want to do is I want to balance all those colors to bring out the individual colors of each of those areas of the nebula. But here's the problem. If I start balancing it now, I'm going to balance it all at once. And you can see there are dark areas and light areas, and that means that there's different amount of emissions of the three hydrogen, oxygen, or sulfur in those areas. So why not make selections of those areas and balance each of those areas individually to bring out the variations in those emissions and get more color out of the image? And that's a process which I call multi-level tone mapping. Now, I can tell you not everyone agrees with this. And I've heard some comments, well, this isn't natural. Well, this whole thing isn't natural. I mean, these are not the colors. If you were standing right next, what color would this be? I mean, anyone raise your hand. What color would this be if you could see it, if you were standing right next to this nebula? I don't hear any answers, but the answer is, what's the answer? Come on, what's the answer, guys?
White?
Red. It would be red because hydrogen alpha.
Oh, I thought you were
so
talking about.
domineering.
I'm sorry. I know you're talking just about hydrogen alpha. Okay, gotcha.
So if you could see it, which you can't, our eyes, even if our eyes are big as squids, you still couldn't see it. It would be red. So there's nothing natural about this. This whole idea of mapping colors to bring out different structures means that we're not dealing with the natural colors. And in normal emission nebula, what you end up doing is you end up really stretching the sulfur and the oxygen to balance them out with the hydrogen to bring out these different areas of emission, not natural. So I'm going to make a copy of that color layer. And we're going to do multi-level tone mapping. And so what I'm going to do is take my little selection lasso, and I'm going to select a dark area here. Now you notice that my hands are shaking and I'm not making a real exact selection. Hold down the Shift K, I'm going to select this other dark area. And that is good. If you make a very regular selection and do anything with it, you will see it. But if you make a very irregular selection, here's another dark area. Let's throw that into the mix. You will not see it. And the other thing you want to do now after you've made this selection is I'm going to soften this selection by going under Selections, Modify, Feather. And I'm going to, you probably can't see it here, but I'm going to feather this, let's say 200 pixels, a nice soft selection. And now I'm going to hide the marching ants. Nobody wants to see the marching ants. And now look at your histogram over here. Well, look, this isn't balanced at all.
Nope.
And if our objective in tone mapping is to balance this histogram, we got some work to do. Let's balance this
Yep.
histogram. And the easiest thing to do is attachments. Let's say levels. Let's do it with levels. We could do it with curves. And now I'm going to select each one of these, red, and I'm going to stretch them out a little bit. There's no data here. And stretch this out there. Green. Yeah. And I'm going to watch my histogram and try to overlap those as much as possible. And blue. Clip off that lower part. And now I've balanced those pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what have I just done here? Okay, we're going to preview. Got the preview on. So that's all dark red. But there's more variation in that, and by selecting that area, I have now brought out the variation and something that's more attuned to what a Hubble palette should be, which really should go from the deep blues through the greens and all the way to the orange. That's what it should be. So now I have an area which has more color variation and it's more interesting than what I started with. And I'm going to click OK. So we've just before and after. So now I'm going to make a copy of this layer and do this again. So now I'm going to select a lighter area. My selection tool. Yeah, let's select, I don't know. Let's select this area. I like this area. And let's add it in this area here. Again, irregular selection. I'm going to feather that selection. Selection, modify, feather. Let's go 250 pixels. This is a big area. Nice soft selection. Hide those marching ants. I don't like marching ants. But we still have a selection there. And now let's try to adjust that histogram as well. That one isn't as much out of balance, but we'll still get a little more detail. We watch. Levels. Let's put this right here. We'll go through, spread out the histogram a little bit. Green. And blue. And I usually go from darker areas to lighter areas, but I'm not sure you have to. And the overlapping gray area means it's pretty much balanced. Now, before or after.
There you go.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. And now let's make another copy. And now let's get the bright areas. Okay, this is a nice bright area. Let's get this one. And I know there's some purples in here. Oops, did I drop that? Try again. I think my marching ants aren't showing up. Oh, why isn't it doing that? Let's try it again. Come on, I want this area too. Come on, guys.
Do it.
There we go.
Okay. There you go.
I'm going to hide that. And now we're going to balance this histogram, just like the other ones. If you're getting bored, just let me know.
Nope.
No, you're fine.
Let's get that over
I'm gonna
there.
check the.
Wow, look at all those purples coming out there.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know there was so much color in this. Actually, I did know there was so much color in this. I've done this like 10 times. and before or after. Wow, look at all, I see those structures there I didn't know were there. Now let me do one more thing. I have a little, let me make another copy of this. Unselect it. I'm going to do one more thing here. We're going to make this color a little bit darker. Yeah, we'll get a little bit more out of that. And the other thing I'm doing, I have a little script here called the tone map adjustment. And a fellow by name of Bob Franke came up with this idea to make a little more orange in your Hubble palette images. And I'm going to run that script. We don't have to go into that. I'm going to play it. Oh, there we go. We got a little more orange. I like that.
Yeah.
And now we have a more interesting Hubble palette image. Now, if you follow this along, you may think, well, he really hasn't done much from the beginning. And the answer is I have.
Yeah.
So we're going to go back to the first Hubble palette image and see the difference. Whoa, there's nothing wrong with that image. That's a fine image, but it doesn't show the variation of color of this multi-level adjustment. And that is multi-level tone. And we put on our, I would like to darken that a little bit. I think it just shows off a little better. I'm just going to make that a little bit darker. Yeah. And there's your Hubble palette image of Eta Carina.
That's awesome.
No, that's just
But,
amazing.
but we're not done yet.
There's more.
So
There's more.
there's more. There's more. Now you can see that there's a lot of detail here. I'm not sure that really comes across.
Oh, there
well
it is. Yeah, we can see it.
On
Yeah.
video.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
mean,
can see it.
But there's something called a high pass filters. Anyone use a high pass filter? I'm going to go back to the
Absolutely.
hydrogen alpha. Absolutely. And I'm going to grab that, the hydrogen alpha image. Make a copy of it. I'm going to paste it on top of my Hubble palette. Whoop, I think I gooped. Let's put it on top, guys. So that's our starless image. And I'm going to make this just a little bit darker. So what is a high pass filter? If this is a class, I'd ask someone to raise their hand, but I can't do that.
I'm not going to even try to say I know. So
Okay, so let's make a couple of copies. I'm just going to make a copy of this and make 4 layers. So now I have 4 copies of the starless image. I'm going to put them in a folder. Open the folder up. And let's zoom in on, where are we going to find more detail? Let's go right there. This has a lot of detail. How can we bring out more detail? What's a high pass filter? Well, a high pass filter in electronics is something that really clips out most all the noise and just gets the signal that you want. In Photoshop, a high pass filter clips the histogram right in the middle, and it only shows the variation from 50% gray to a little bit less and a little bit more.
Okay.
So if we were to put in basically a broad, unresolved histogram and do a high pass filter, we'd end up with a 50% gray image. All right, so we're going to go to filter, other, high pass. Well, we don't need that much nonsense. We're just going to clip it. I don't see anything there. Let's try 2 pixels. All right, so now I'm clipping the histogram so it's only 2 pixels wide, right in the middle. But what you see here is you can start to see the outline. I don't know if you can see these structures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see some structure.
Well, that's the nebula. Most of it is gray. So let me zoom back here a little bit. So how is this going to bring out more detail? Well, we're going to apply it the way that one layer affects the layer below it in terms of an overlay. So what does an overlay do with a high pass filtered image? So basically anything that's 50% gray, it doesn't affect the structure down below at all. But if it's a little bit darker, it'll darken it. And if it's a little bit lighter, it'll lighten it. So if we turn off this high pass filter layer that we've overlaid, I don't know, do you see any more detail? Let me zoom in a little bit. This is way too far. This is pixel peaking, which
Yeah.
you shouldn't be pixel peaking.
We all do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you see any more?
But you can see the change.
Yeah, you can definitely see some
You can see
sharpening.
the change.
Yep.
So
yeah, you can see that.
I'll go back to normal. Let's look at it again. So the areas that are darkened, that are less than 50%, will darken the image below it. And the areas that are lighter, like this little outline around the nebula,
Yep.
they will lighten the image below it. So let's go back. So what do we do next? We put in another. Let's go to overlay. We go to our next layer. And now we make a slightly larger high pass filter. So let's go other high pass. Let's go 4 pixels. Now I use a series of these high pass filters. No, I don't want to go 4. Let's go 3. It depends on your image and how much detail is in your nebula, but you get the idea. And now I overlay that. And now, oh, it looks like we've just focused this, haven't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Definitely sharpened it up for sure.
It appears to be sharpened. I don't think we've really sharpened. We've just darkened the darker areas and we've lightened the lighter areas. So I'm going to pull back a little bit. And we'll put in 2 more layers. Yep. Go the right keystroke. Let's see, can we see it there? Yeah, maybe a little bit. Let's put in another high pass layer. Another high pass. 4 pixels. Overlay. By the way, well, look at you. You're starting to see some detail you didn't really see her there, didn't you?
Yeah, those streaks on the bottom, like at 3 o'clock.
Streaks on the bottom.
Yeah.
Now, something else that this high pass filter will do for you, it'll bring out all your noise. So you better have good images to begin with. And if you don't, you see lots of noise, which
it's almost like a smart sharpen.
Yeah.
Yeah, smart sharpen, you know, that's a pretty heavy tool.
Yeah, but as I said, it kind of has that type of a look to it.
You can be a lot more subtle, and you can.
It brings out the contrast right along the edges.
Right along the edges, and that's what we want. And I'm going to put in 1 more high pass layer. And of course, the larger the high pass filter, the bigger the structure that you're going to see. So let's just kind of go overboard. Filter, other high pass. Let's go to 10 pixels.
Oh,
God, that's ugly. That's ugly.
Whoa. Whoa.
Now that gets a little nasty. I can tell you that. That you can start.
Little
it's
cooked.
getting.
Yeah.
But here's what you can do. First of all, you can smooth that out a little bit. And you see, you're going to blur the image? Yes, I'm going to blur the image. Do a little Gaussian blur. and maybe 3 pixels. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the opacity way down here around 30%. I just want a little bit of this. And now we've got a little bit more contrast. So now turn off the whole assembly. Oh, it's all blurry. Oh, it's sharper.
Yeah.
Oh, it's blurry. Oh, it's sharper. Blurry is sharper, blurry is sharper. Now, why did I do this with starless images? Because if you do it with the starred images, all those little stars have nice contrasty edges,
Yep.
and it will look really, really ugly. So you have to do it with starless images. And there's the Hubble palette image of Eta Carina with multi-level tone mapping.
That's awesome. That's a great technique, man.
It really is. This is wow.
And of course, it's great data from Martin Pugh.
Yep.
If any questions that came up anywhere along the line, I just kind of buzzed through.
A lot of people were talking about the high pass filter. A lot of people do know of it, and we're talking about it in the chat. Some people were talking about when someone said, "How do I do this in PixInsight?" Let's see.
Eric, if I can ask a question, Eric, where would somebody find a
No.
step-by-step procedure?
No
Sorry.
question for you.
No, I have demonstrated this a few times. I think there are a few videos out there.
Yep.
I've demonstrated with different nebula. I can tell you this works well if you have reasonably strong emissions from all 3 of the filters. So if your sulfur is so weak that you can barely see it, you just end up with a mess. But with a lot of these nebulas that are strong emitters, such as the Rosette, it works beautifully on the Rosette.
Okay.
And anything where you have a reasonable signal in all 3, it works. And I've demonstrated multi-level. I demonstrated once on the Astro Imaging channel, on the San Diego Astronomy Group. Can't remember what his name is. I did it once at Fermi Lab. It's out there a few times.
Nice.
And I can also tell you, every time you go through this, it's a little bit different because these selections are variable. Well, you know, I think these areas are here a little bit darker. You can go back and read. Well, I think I darkened that area a little bit too much. I'm going to go back and fix that. Just go back and fix it.
Eric, when does the book Lessons from the Masters, Volume Part 2 come out?
You have to talk to the PixInsight gurus for that kind of thing. So this is multi-level tone mapping, and it's kind of a variation on, I think the person that made this really popular was J.P. Metsavenio. Jaakko-Pekka Metsavenio, the Finnish astrophotographer, just some beautiful images.
Yeah, we had a question from Dave Schaefer. How well would it only work? I guess he's saying with the 3 strong channels, or will it work with H if you use O in the 3rd channel, like an HOO image?
I've never done that, but I have tone map RGB images too.
Okay.
That's an interesting process. It's not quite as supple, but you can manage colors on an RGB image just by making starless RGB images, managing the colors, and then putting the stars back by various techniques. So it's not just limited to narrowband. I don't know about HOO images. I would think not, because your O and your 2 O channels are going to be the same, so you start making adjustments in your histogram.
Yep.
And I don't think you're going to see any resolution of emissions, which is really what you're trying to get at.
Yeah, the separation probably will not be as striking by the least. So
well, you're just separating out hydrogen alpha and oxygen.
Correct.
In oxygen, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of course, there's another demo where you can make color-like images out of narrowband just using H and O, but that's another discussion.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was one other thing that I thought it would be worth demoing quickly.
Absolutely.
I don't know what. I'm going to stop sharing just for a moment.
Okay.
Stop sharing. Did I stop sharing? No, here we are. Is my camera on?
Not yet. You're gonna have to.
I turned the camera on.
Yeah, you have click that toggle screen sharing button, I believe again. Next to the microphone icon.
Hmm.
There you go.
There you
Oh, there I am. Oh,
Okay.
go.
okay. I want to demonstrate one more thing because it's something that has come up recently.
Okay.
Let's get me set it up.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna like this guy.
Nice.
All my initial processing is all done in PixInsight. So I've just opened up PixInsight.
Okay.
And I'm now going to open up. Let's see, what is this? File.
Let's see. I'm just checking, and no other questions or anything like right now. So I've been keeping an eye on the membership chat.
Yeah, a lot of people were talking about some prior demonstrations that you've done of this, Eric.
Yes.
So people are
Yeah, they're out
following you.
Oh, that's nice. I don't want to say I don't care, but it's I mean, I learn from other people because
Yep.
they shared things with me, and I pass them along. And there is no hierarchy of sharing. If you know something, and I am absolutely committed to the way I do things until someone shows me a better way, and then I'm absolutely committed to the way I'm doing it then until someone shows me a better way, and then I'm committed to that. So I have zero loyalty on my techniques. When
whatever
someone
works
comes
good.
along, whatever works,
Yeah,
that's
and
what I'm going to do.
and I think that's kind of there's the same premise that you have over at TAIC is the same premise we have here. If you have a bunch of people together that know stuff, and we have people that have Eric's an ASI user, I'm an Eagle user, Pete uses everything, but it's got to cost over $20,000 or more, and Scott's got his Scott's got his 14 Edge, so we're all across the board here, and with all the people that we have in the Discord channel as well. We can cover a lot of bases and help a lot of people with problems. So it's really, really good to kind of get involved with all the platforms.
Yeah,
That's really one of the cool things about astrophotography. I mean, it's just, I would say my life would be different had I not discovered it. And I discovered it strictly by accident, but that's another story. Anyway, I'm now sharing PixInsight. You all recognize PixInsight. And this is kind of my setup with all the, the pre-programmed this and all the things there. Stretching drives us crazy. Right? You stretch too much and your stars get too big, or you don't stretch enough, and then you get noise. And so we have things like arc sign stretch, which some of us love and some of us hate. We have a default histogram screen transfer. Let me bring up the histogram transformation. So I can do I can do the default stretch. Okay, we'll just, we want that. And drag that and carry it over. And now look at that. We've done a stretch. That doesn't look so bad. I don't want to do that. But one that's come up recently is called the general. See, let's bring this little script up. It's fairly new.
Yeah.
And we all love it. And we're going to have someone on the program to demonstrate the generalized hyperbolic stretch.
Hyperbolic stretch, yep.
Yeah. Oh, I love this hyperbolic stretch. And I'm not an expert on this. I'm learning as I go.
Yeah, it's fairly new in the group scripts.
It's a script,
Yep.
but it really does some wonderful stretches especially with color data, even though I'm doing it with narrowband data. And you just select your target and you kind of zoom in to find out what your inflection point is. So I'm just going to stretch that out. I'm going to make my inflection point here. Don't ask me why. We're going to learn more in a couple weeks when this guy comes on and explains it. You set your inflection point, which is, I probably can't read this, 0.01409, which is what's this thing I clicked here. They call it the symmetry point. You take your local stretch here. And now when you do your stretch, it makes this nice little S-shaped curve, which would be impossible for you to duplicate. And allows you to do a much more supple stretch on a curve that emphasizes the essential part of, in this case, a nebula. And now you just say, I want to generate a new image, and you click it. So I'm not really demonstrating this as you should use it.
Right.
I'm just saying if you are a PixInsight user, I would definitely take a look at this particular stretch. It'll also do an ArcSine stretch. No, don't save it. So let me open up another image because this isn't a narrowband isn't the best demonstration. Let's dig down through my 21 terabytes of data here. Let's do 51. Okay, here's the L master. So you all recognize this. This is area 51.
Area 51. Yeah.
Area 51. The whirlpool. And when you use the GHS stretch on this, you really keep your stars under control. So let me demonstrate that. Script. No, not the batch. Generalized hyperbolic stretch. This is where it really comes into its own. The master. And we'll do the same thing. We'll zoom in so we can see where our inflection point should be. And I'm going to click here because I know that they actually talk about making an inflection point here or here. I don't know what the right answer is. I put it right in the middle. And this is 0.01241. I put that in the symmetry point, 0.124. I know you can't read that because the screen's got too many pixels, not to worry. We're going to take this local stretch and put it out. And now let's start to stretch it. Now the interesting part of this, let's say I want to do a series of stretches. I can do that. I can do one down here and here and click on this little button and do a whole series of them. And it really, you can see, keeps the stars under control.
Yeah.
So let's produce a new image, create a new image. Now there's some noise and background to get rid of. Yeah, I don't need you anymore. Thank you. Go away. Now why do I always click save? Let's go over. What is this? Oh, the GHS. Yeah, it always brings up the background, but I can get rid of that in a click.
Yeah.
So let's just. Now, what happens if I just do a default stretch on this? Well, you can see what's going to happen already,
Yep.
right? It's going to blow out all those stars.
Yep.
Yep. And that's what it does. Now, there are other things you can do. So that's just a histogram transformation. You can do the arc sine, but that flattens things out a little bit. So using various of the GHS stretches, doing noise reduction, getting the background down, and blending them together in Photoshop brings out much more detail. And when you're all done with that, somewhere along the line is my finished image. You end up with something like this.
There you go. Beautiful.
Wow.
And that was all done with the GHS stretch.
That is awesome. That is great.
Now, again, I'm not an expert on the GHS stretch, but I would certainly recommend that people that use PixInsight look into it, read up on it, and see how it can improve your images. Because once you make that stretch, I mean, you are done, right? If your stars are too big, you're going to struggle forever. If it's too noisy, if the center of the galaxy is blown out, there's really not much you can do. Okay, I'm going to stop. Any questions before I stop sharing?
Let me see.
Let's see. I was trying to understand Bloodstone's question.
Yeah.
It is based on this. I had to make that URL.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to say.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was trying to say.
If you could clarify for us, Dylan, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'm going to stop sharing, and I can always.
Yeah.
See, what do I do? Toggles.
Yep, toggle screen share. There you go. You're back.
Your interface is a little bit different than what I'm used to. But it took me 30 seconds to figure that out.
Yeah. I mean, once you get around it, it's pretty much once you get the hang of it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
no, but that looks amazing there.
What else do you need? Any more questions or things? Oh, I like that. That's cool. What is we got little banners on who we are.
Oh yeah.
Just in case we forget.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
see, there you go.
What our names are.
There you
go. Just all right. Hold on a second. I think it got dark since we were.
Hey, there we can see you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So how long have you been doing astrophotography?
Well, I hate to say it's an interesting story, but it's interesting.
Is it?
So I was with a pharma company in China for 5 years. I was one of the principals. And in 2011, we completed a sale of the company, and I moved back after living in China for 5 years. And when I came back, I was just like, what do I do? That was 2011. And I saw someone advertising an 8-inch Dob, push it around, carry it around. And he wanted $400 for it. I told him, I'm going to go and take a look at that telescope. And I did. And I carried that Dob around the neighborhood, set it up, and it weighed a lot, and it was awkward. And then I said, I really need a go-to telescope. So I got an 8-inch, what was it? A Celestron something or another. That was a go-to.
Like
and then I was down at a.
Was it like one of these orange ones?
Yeah, it wasn't an orange tube, but it was like an 8-inch. I've since given that thing away.
Yeah.
I used to go down to Indiana, and there was some guy that says, "Well, I didn't know anything, so I said, where do I point?" And he said, "Oh, go to NGCS." So I'd punch it in, it would go there, and I saw this cool fuzzball.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, "Go to something else," and there was another fuzzball. And then I kept looking at fuzzballs and said, "All I'm seeing is fuzzballs." And then I noticed that he had a little You know what happens next. You know what happens next. Some guy had a DSLR camera on the back of his telescope. I went to look at that and I go, oh, you could really see something there, can't you? So of course I had to get a DSLR, put it in the back of my Alta S telescope. And then things got crazy. Then it was a Mach 1 telescope. And then I got the 130 GT. And that was 2012. And then I got my first real astro photograph, and I got a CCD camera, and just went on for that. So really, it's been about 10 years.
Wow.
And of course,
And that's how it usually starts for a lot of us, right?
Yeah, it's just you go like this, and then
See
you go, okay, like this, and I'm
ball,
like,
and
whoa,
then-
it's like this.
And then suddenly you start out seeing these fuzz balls or snot balls, whatever you want to call them, and then somebody comes along and they say, hey, hook up your camera to this thing, and you do that, and then you say, wow, I can actually make out some structure here. I can actually see what this is.
Yeah,
and then
I know
that's
that's amazing.
That's when you take the red pill, right? That's when you take the red pill and you go down the rabbit hole. And
I think we all have the same. It's the origin story for all astrophotographers.
Yeah.
It's all the same. My story is no different. You start out and someone says, look, I gotta do that. And of course, we are so proud of the first really terrible pictures
Yep.
of and raise your hand if your first image was of M42, right? Yeah, of course. M42, big and bright and red. And I looked at that and I go, wow, look what I got.
Yep. M42, and it was just literally 4 stars and a smudge of red, and that's what it was.
Yeah, right. It was this red thing in a DSLR. Yeah.
And that's all it
And,
was.
actually, for me, it was M51.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, or Andromeda, which is the other one. With its,
this is the other one.
And the funny thing is that most of the people out there are usually have. And I'm doing a talk on Saturday on this, and a lot of people start with scopes that they're using for visual first. They usually get things to look in the eyepiece, and most people, if you want to spend some money, start with an 8-inch Schmidt. They get like an SE or something like that, or like a Mead or something like that you just get. Oh yeah, it's good. You got 2000 mil, and then you take that camera, you put it on the back, and you try and get M31. Good luck.
Yeah. Exactly.
All you're getting is the core because you can't fit it on your camera, and you're like, oh my god, what is that? Now I need a reducer. Now I need a wedge. Now I need a guided camera. Now I need a guide scope.
Like I said,
there's no end.
No, it's no end.
And now you end up with a basement, which is now the telescope museum. Of all the pieces of equipment that you don't use anymore, that I try to give away as fast as possible.
Guys, in the chat, feel free to let Eric know where I put all that stuff, because I want to make sure that I talk about this place, this secret place in my house that I thought I don't want to see if anybody throws it out in the chat and see if anybody says what I think they're gonna say. But
It's I call mine the telescope museum. The cats cannot go in the telescope museum. We have a sub basement. It's about 2,000 square feet. It's huge, and it's just filled with telescope stuff that none of which I use anymore.
Oh, yep. Yeah. So you got Closet of Death, the COD. There we go. The Closet of Death.
It is. Closet of Death.
And
those of us that are the astronomy tower,
Yeah, the astronomy tower. Yeah.
Yep, I have the astronomy
tower. Those of us that are still married have had that conversation. Do you really need the bigger telescope? Do you really need that other camera? What, you have a camera. Why do you need another camera?
They're different.
Oh yeah.
I need it.
So I need it. Eric, just trust me. I need it.
This is my response, and I'm not being sexist here, but honey, how many pairs of shoes do you need?
Oh no.
Yeah, but a pair of shoes doesn't cost $30,000.
Oh, they can.
And
They
Oh,
can.
they
I
Talk
don't,
to Kim
I don't
Kardashian
know.
about that.
Have you ever
I don't
heard
have
of
those
Imelda
kinds of
Marcos?
exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
But yeah,
That's
you know,
So
it's definitely interesting because you know what, I'm at the point I was like, I think a lot of us are at the point where like we want to kind of get a roll off roof or something like that because Eric and I both have piers. They're both outside to the elements, so they're not covered with anything. They got like a telegizmos thing over the top. Scott's got his wheelie bars that he rolls out his 14-inch. So he wheels that in and out. He
Arlene,
just
you want to say hello? I just want to say hello.
Hold on, I gotta ask her how many pairs of shoes does she have?
How
hello.
many pairs?
How many pairs
Hello.
of shoes do you have compared to how many? You know, because he has.
Arlene.
You know, Eric has so many
She
telescopes.
approves all these.
You know, we have all of our own gear. So
So what's with the shoes?
Oh, we're talking about.
it was just a discussion. You know,
Well,
how
well,
we all,
I have.
you know, all of that stuff. How we have all of our astronomy gear, and our wives
Okay.
they ask us, why do you have to have this new telescope? Why do you have to have this new camera? Well, why do you have to have these pairs of shoes? You just do.
That you just do, right?
just do.
Now I have a group of summer shoes and then the group of the fall and winter shoes.
There you go.
So for Eric, so does he have like he has a summer telescope and then he has a couple fall and winter telescopes?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That's right. He's got the plane wave for galaxy season, and then he has the wide field for nebula season.
Yeah.
There you
So
Can I tell something?
What? This,
The man, the Konski Park.
Kaminsky Park, that's
Oh,
Eric. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
me.
Eric, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he lives in northeast Illinois,
Okay. He's got a nice
North-
smile.
north
Ah,
central
Yeah,
Illinois.
I'm in Belvedere. Yeah, I'm in Belvedere.
He's got a nice.
Eric,
Belgrade.
you got a nice smile. You got a new fan.
He has a nice
I
smile.
am a new fan. Thank you.
Another Eric. All right.
Oh, jeez.
well,
Yeah,
All right.
I'm a diehard South Sider there, Eric. Born and raised on the South Side, so I'm a
Southside.
You know, I root for whatever team is winning, and if they're not winning, the hell with them. Yeah.
Sounds like my
When they-
Islanders.
The Cubs, when the Cubs were winning, boy, I was cheering all the way. When the Bulls were winning, boy, you know.
When the Cubs were winning, I was just crossing my fingers to let Back to the Future come true. That's the only thing I was hoping for, because if the Cubs won the World Series that year,
Yeah, I remember that Back to the Future, right?
yep,
The Cubs win the World
The
Series.
Cubs win the
and
World
unbelievable.
Series. What's this world coming to?
I don't think they're going to be winning any World Series
No, not anytime soon.
again. But they won, what, 2006? When was it?
Something like that.
16?
Yep.
I don't know.
was
I
that
forgot
the one
already.
where the fan? Was that the one where the fan had caught the ball that the outfielder could?
No, that
No.
was year before when they
Oh, that was
actually
before
lost the
then. That was
playoff.
Parkman. Yeah, that was the Parkman disaster.
Yeah, and you know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
too bad. I mean, he got crucified, and basically did whatever any fan would do, would be reach for a fly ball.
Yep. Now he's
And
banned.
they had a chance. They had a chance to win that series. They blew the rest of the series. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
They just blamed it
It
on
wasn't
him.
Bart.
I mean, that was a
They
tough
ran,
one,
yeah, they
wasn't
ran
it?
him. They ran him out of Chicago.
Oh, they did. He ended up in
They
Long
ran him
Island.
Thanks. Appreciate it. The last thing listen, you know, I go in my like 6-month kind of no sports now because Islanders have lost. They're not in the playoffs. So I only watch hockey, and that's the only thing I do. I can only do one thing good. I can't do 5 sports. I can just watch one. I can't do that. I need to do one thing and do it well. I can't sit there and watch 5 sports because I won't even know. I'll be like, oh yeah, touchdown, Wayne Gretzky. Yeah, okay, good job. And then yeah, so it'll be a mess. Yeah, so but
Well, the big one for us Illinoisans, were the Bulls from
of course,
97, 6 out of 7 years. I mean, they killed
was a
them. We
dynasty.
loved it.
yep,
Yeah,
It
That really was
should
a
have been
dynasty.
7 out of 7,
yeah,
except
yeah.
Jordan
Except MJ has to
decided,
go play baseball for a while.
yeah, exactly.
whatever.
Yeah, that didn't do well for him, but
No.
No, but we got 6 championships, and there were a lot of. We were proud of the Bulls. It was a pleasure just to watch. Yeah, they're going to win. Yeah, of course they're going to win.
yeah.
Sure.
Josh was like, "Who has time for sports? There are live astronomy streams every night." So
Yeah. But see, I want to have the problem that Eric has. When you have such great skies, you run out of targets. That's the life I want to live. I want to live to get to the point, that life where you have to really start trying to figure out, all right, I've hit everything in this hemisphere. What to do now?
you know what you need? You need a bigger scope. You got to get another
That's
scope.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
You need a 3
you know
meter.
something. It sounds like poor Eric, and I understand that. Until like with the Hondas, after 3 years, I'm going, what am I going to shoot tonight? I mean, really, I'm going, and you feel bad. It's like, okay, I'll repeat. I don't know, I'll repeat something.
I don't know. That's when you just got to get the bigger scope and have to go after. Now you have to go after, Sagittarius A.
Yeah,
That's what Sagittarius A. Now that's your goal.
Sagittarius
Now.
A-star.
yeah.
Yeah. Now that's the goal. Is now let's start going after black holes.
You know what's something cool that I always wanted to try and kind of do? Those lunar occultations. Have you ever tried to do that?
No.
So
No,
basically,
I've
what
never.
you do is, for those of you that don't know what lunar occultations is, basically what you do is certain times with certain stars and certain phases of the moon, you're going to be able to see these stars skim the rim of the moon, and the star is going to flash at you. And basically, what it's doing is going in and out of the mountain peaks of the moon, and you could actually judge. If you're good, I'm not good like this, but you could actually judge how big those mountain peaks are because of where the light of the star shines. And there's a lunar occultation group out there. They have the massive amounts of equipment that you need to kind of the time coding and everything that you need to do to kind of do this. It's really interesting though. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we got an eclipse coming up. You guys
Yes.
photograph the eclipse?
Yeah, Sunday night. I think it starts at like 10:14 Eastern. If I remember right, like something like that. A little after 10 o'clock, and it goes up to about 1:30. And I don't care. I got to work the next day. I got to take my little scope. I'm going to take the Red Cat, and I'm just going to go. I'm just going to run it.
I've done that before. I don't know whether I'm going to do it this time, but yeah, maybe I'll get out to 1:30 and put on a camera and take a look at it.
Yeah, I got a couple options. I got the Red Cat, I got the Esprit 80, and I got the 127. So I mean, I think I want something with a little bit more of a wider field, not so deep and just.
Well, actually, the DSLR on the 130 gives a nice field.
Yeah. It just fills up the frame a little bit. I just want a little bit more on the outside, but we'll see.
Actually, last time I did a whole animation.
Yeah.
Called the moving shadow of the lunar eclipse, because light and dark areas vary during the course of the eclipse.
Yeah.
Even when it's in totality, and so you saw a dark shadow within the shadow move across the moon. So I don't know. That was didn't get a lot of attention. I don't think there's a lot of people that get excited about lunar eclipses.
I
Of course,
love
we
them
got
when
the
they're out.
solar.
Yeah,
Solar
2024
eclipse.
May. Yeah.
And what was it? 17. We had the last one.
Yeah, I took a drive down to Greenville, South Carolina, for that, and that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. That was my first solar eclipse. That was my only solar eclipse that I've seen, and it was just. I was talking with somebody about this the other day. You know what shocked me the most about the solar eclipse was the temperature drop. The temperature dropped during a solar eclipse. I mean, it was 85 degrees in Greens in April. It was April 17th, right? Yeah, so it was April 17th. No, it's April 21st, 2017, I think it was. But it was hot. It was like 80 degrees. And then all of a sudden you see they had a wall mounted thermometer on the outside just so you could see, and it went down to 68 in like a couple of minutes, and it was just really crazy. And the other thing that freaked me out, it was a little freaky. You know what was freaky about it? Once totality ensued and it got dark, all the birds stopped. They stopped tweeting,
Yep.
flying, everything. And it just got very, very quiet and sullen. And it was like nobody was saying anything. You heard whispers of people talking. And then all of a sudden, when the the moon moves a little bit more and it gets a little brighter, and all of a sudden, birds wake up. And that's a weird, weird phenomenon about that.
We went out to a friend of mine went out to central Nebraska,
Okay.
someplace in Nebraska, some holiday inn, and we set up our scopes. And then the people in the motel, hotel, whatever it was, they started coming out and joining us. And they didn't really know what to do, but we ended up with about 30, 40 people who we had set up. We told them how to lie down and how to observe it. And the one thing there was two things I remember. First thing is, as we get towards totality and we hit totality, we always heard the same thing. Everyone said the same thing. They all went, "Oh," like that. And you could just a chorus of people with kind of breathing all at once, expressing their excitement of it. And the other thing which I did, which was really stupid, of course, it said, "Don't take pictures." It's 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Observe the eclipse. Don't take a picture.
Yeah, okay.
So, of course, I had my DSLR and I set it in automatic. And during the eclipse, I was holding it above my head, just clicking the shutter, hoping it was autofocus. So, in the end, someone was taking a video, and everyone was sitting there. I was watching too, and then there was this idiot flashing his camera,
Oh.
and it was me. I mean, I saw the whole thing, but I was sitting there holding click, 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 and the flash was going off.
Oh, that's funny. I got a similar story that I've mentioned this on the show before, but it's kind of funny. I'll say it again since we're talking about eclipses. But I'm sitting there and I got my 127. I got everything all set up and I'm taking pictures, and I give the video camera to Jen. I said, "Jen, my wife, just whatever you do, get the eclipse on video. Once, don't point it at it when it's in totality. Point it at point it up. Go point it up." So I'm all excited. I'm underneath the hood, right? Underneath with my laptop and everything. I'm trying to make sure everything's good, taking pictures. I'm totally not enjoying this whole experience. It's just a very stressful experience when you try to do it. And I'm sitting there, and the eclipse is done, and I'm finished, and I take the hoodie off, and I go and I say, "Okay, cool. Let me see the video camera." And I press play. I open up the thing. I press play, and I'm watching the video camera, and I'm seeing it get dark and darker and darker. And I'm waiting for the camera to go up, and I'm waiting. And then I'm seeing, after like a minute and a half, I'm seeing it getting lighter and lighter and light. I'm like, all I saw was treetops. I'm like, what just happened? Where's the eclipse? What's going on? And she was like, "I didn't want to point it to the sun because I thought I would fry out the camera." So missed the whole
Good
thing.
thought.
Missed the whole thing. I said, "What are you doing?
It's
That's
a
the only
fair
time you can
thought.
point at it."
It's
Fair
so next
thought,
time
but
I'm gonna automate the whole thing. I mean,
Yep.
I am not gonna be the idiot standing there holding a camera trying to flash. I'm just going to automate the whole thing.
Yep.
Sit down, watch my 2 minutes and
That's what I'm going to do. I
whatever number
agree.
of seconds.
That's it.
and I actually did this. I just was holding the camera up at the same time.
That's
It is an extraordinary experience. So there's no doubt about it.
Yes,
Yeah,
is.
it was cool. They had where I went. They had a live band, and they really did it. It was like this whole field of people. There was like probably 300 people in this field, and it was a great experience. I just didn't have any fun during the actual eclipse because I was
You
taking out
you
of focus
did what
images.
people tell you not to do,
Yep,
didn't you?
I do that a lot. I do that a lot.
Well, I'll tell you what. Provided we get to 24 and go, we are not going to do that again. We're going to. Hopefully, the weather is clear and we can enjoy it, and that'll be
Yeah.
number 2.
Yeah,
And this time, I'm going to insist my wife go because last time she did.
I'm just
Are
gonna
you gonna
do.
head
That's
down
what.
to Carbondale, Eric, or you're gonna go down to Carbondale because that's where at least in Illinois, in Southern Illinois, that was one of the best. That was probably the best spot was around the Carbondale area, and I think
Yeah,
the eclipse for the 24th is gonna come on just the opposite side.
they got virtually skunked because everyone got
Yeah.
together down University, and they ended up with 30 seconds of eclipse. We drove 600 miles to the middle of Nebraska, and we got the
Okay.
full experience. So and then they had to get back from Carbondale, and they clogged the roads for hours and hours. So I'm
Oh.
so glad I didn't go down to Carbondale.
Okay.
We got lucky in Greenville, man. Let me tell you, because there was a bank of clouds coming this way, like right towards the sun, and then everybody's like, "Go this way,
Yeah,
go this way, go this way," and sure enough, went east, and that's it. It was out of here. But we got really lucky.
well, we looked at all the weather forecasts, so we were figuring, okay, we're going to be here in Nebraska. If we have to go, get up in the morning. If we have to go 50 miles one way or another, we just get in the car and go.
Yeah,
But we didn't. And interesting that there was a bit of a high haze, and so we're a little bit worried. But once the eclipse came, I mean, it was clear
yeah,
because there was no light reflecting off of those light cloud layers. It was just perfect because the sun was eclipsed.
yeah.
So
That's awesome.
it was clear. Yeah,
But,
I'm looking forward to that.
yeah, I
Hopefully,
hope.
we all live long
But
enough and are healthy enough to go.
yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna go. Probably the worst place to go for this one. I'm probably gonna go to Buffalo, um, because I got friends over there, and I got an opportunity to stay there. I got an opportunity to stay in Texas as well, kind of near the beaten path, kind of. So I got some options, and we still got 2 years, so we'll figure it out one way or another.
It's going right through Illinois.
Yeah. It's kind of doing a
We're in a good
weird kind
place.
of thing. It's going like a Mexico all the way through northern New York. It's kind of a weird arc,
Yeah.
but it should be fun.
So we
Yeah.
should have a good. So it should be interesting. I'm hoping. It'll be good for us here in Illinois. Maybe I'll head over to what's that one spot? There's a dark sky site here in Illinois. It's near Champaign. I don't recall. I have to take a look at the spot again, but it's a
Oh,
spot that I've been
it's
interested
where
in taking down.
there's a place that they hold a star party every year. What's
I'll have to look it
I
up.
can't,
I don't
I can't
recall.
think of the name of it.
Yeah.
I usually don't go that far west to star parties. The furthest I go really is I go south. I don't go west. The furthest west I go is Cherry Springs,
Middle Fork.
which is that
Middle Fork River. Yeah, that's what it is.
Middle
Sorry.
Fork.
Middle Fork. Yeah, Middle Fork River Forest Preserve in Champaign, Illinois. That's the spot.
But the last time I went to a star party in Virginia was Staunton River, and went down to Staunton River, and it's a long drive from Long Island. It was like a 11-hour drive, something like that. It was pretty long, 7-hour drive. I don't remember. It was so long. It just felt longer because my friend developed a hole in the gas tank, so we literally had to get gas every like 150 miles in a suburban. We're dropping gas all over the I-95 just to get here. We finally get about an hour away from Staunton River, and my buddy Dennis from the astronomy club that I'm in up here, my friend Dennis, he's like, don't bother coming. The hurricane put us all underwater. So don't even bother. So what do? Turn right back around, another 7 hours back home, dropping gas and getting a headache all the way up from Virginia all the way through to Long Island. It was horrible. Horrible experience.
Nowadays, that would be an expensive trip.
It was an expensive trip. It was an expensive trip then. It was a Suburban. I was dropping 25 gallons every 2 hours. Yeah, you know,
Oh my gosh.
it was horrible. Horrible.
Duct tape. What happened? Didn't you have any duct tape?
Tried duct tape, it fell off, and then all of a sudden it smelled, and you knew it was going. We had the windows open. You know, it was bad. It was bad. I have something on Facebook somewhere. It was like a rant every like 20 minutes. I gotta find it.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the path right now of for 2024.
Yep.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yep.
So it's going to hit a lot of Indiana, a lot of Southern Illinois.
Yep.
But I may actually head down to Arkansas.
Yeah, it kind of does this south to southwest curve from like northwestern New York all the way down to Mexico.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it should be a fun time.
Yeah. Well.
But so Eric, do you attend? I'm sorry, you may have said this already. So, do you attend quite a few star parties? Maybe have you done that quite a bit with the Astro Imaging channel or yourself personally?
Well, we're strictly Astro Imaging channel is strictly online.
Yep.
And
Right.
I'm completely lazy. I don't go to star parties. I mean, because that means like moving equipment. I mean, think about what I have access to. The only reason I
Yeah.
go to a star party is to harass my friends.
But you should do that.
Yeah, I do
You're
remember
supposed to
seeing,
do that.
That's what I do.
seeing one video from the Astro Imaging channel. I remember the gentleman who was down. He went to the Texoki star party.
Okie
But
Tex.
that was Okie Tex. That was quite some
That
time
was
ago.
Alex and the other guy that helped him was Larry. I can't remember his last name.
Sure.
The pilot. No, I seriously, I mean, picking up equipment and going places. I don't want to say it's too much work for me, but
It's too much work.
it's too much work.
I hear you.
I'm completely lazy. I mean, I sit here and you see, I log into my scope, I write the script, and I collect data in the morning.
There you go.
Hey,
How do you beat that?
there you go.
How do you beat that?
You can't
beat
beat
it.
that. Why even go? Why go?
Yeah.
Why go anywhere? You know?
Exactly.
I mean, SRO's got the best seeing conditions because you're on that side of the mountains and the Sierra
Right, you're on
Nevadas,
the
man.
upslope, right? You're at the
On the
front
upslope.
of the Sierra. Because people think when you get over on the other side, you're better off, but you don't because you have all that turbulence when the air goes up and then over and then starts to curl on the other side. So
And
we're
the
on the
sad thing
upslope
about
of the
it-
Sierras.
And Eric, the sad thing is when they had the Creek Fire, Cal Fire used SRO as the staging area. They literally put all the retardant around there because they knew that of all that equipment, there's got to be a couple of $1 million worth of equipment. But when you drive up there, I don't think you've been there in a while, but when you drive up there and you go up towards Shaver Lake to get off on Aubrey Road, you look and you can see the whole Creek Fire is literally just decimated over 150 miles
Wow.
to the northwest. All the homes that were there are nothing now but just the concrete foundations. It's so sad to see, but literally SRO was the only thing left standing.
Well, at least it's still
We
standing.
have a theory about that.
First
First of all, we have video of the flames actually getting onto the grounds and getting the grass underneath some of the stanchions holding up the roof, the roll-off roofs were on fire. We have video of that. And we have video of the firemen coming on to the property and putting out fires that were just right there on the edge. And
Yep.
I just have a suspicion there was some government equipment at the SRO.
Oh, think about it. You got JPL, you got NASA equipment there, so you know that is going to definitely get
You
their
know,
attention.
someone made a call and said, "Hey guys,
gotta
get your
save
fire
this.
engine. We can't let but we we were worried there for days. I mean, that was, you're
Yeah.
thinking, oh God, my scopes are. Well, that's why you have insurance.
Yep.
Yep.
That is true. That's something we talk about on the show quite a bit. Whatever you got, protect your stuff.
Yeah, and it's more difficult when you have it remotely because it isn't covered by homeowner insurance.
Yeah. Well, so
Yeah.
yeah. Well, when when you're remotely, yeah, absolutely. You got to kind of figure out
You
some other options.
you have to have a separate policy,
Yep.
which I found out. Another expense.
It never ends.
So
You
who
know,
are you are going to be at the Advanced Imaging Conference?
the only one here that's gonna be is Pete, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
As a matter of, as a
Yeah.
matter of fact, Eric, I am sharing the booth with Keith. Keith was kind enough
Oh,
to
are you?
allow me to be with SRO, so we're right across from Planewave.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's where it was the last time. Planewave was right across.
Yeah.
Was literally right across the aisle.
Yeah, that's gonna be. We
Yeah,
got.
Yep.
Good.
I've
I
been trying
haven't
to get
seen
these guys
Keith.
to consider coming out to AIC because they've never been out there, but it is definitely the premier imaging conference now. It really is something special
Yeah,
with the
I
guest
promise you,
speakers.
Yeah.
2 years I'll be there. I couldn't do this one, but 2 years I'll definitely. I gotta make it. I got a couple of things I gotta do. I gotta do AIC. I want to do what win a star party in Florida. I want to do that. And what's the other one in the UK? PAL or APC? I forgot. It's the imaging conference out in the UK that they have over there. I forgot the name of it, but it's pretty big too. So that's in
Well,
London, I
the
think.
only one I go to is AIC, and
Yep. So
that's
apparently they held a virtual NEAF this year. I found out a couple of weeks
yeah.
ago. I mean, they did not tell
Oh, they
anybody. They didn't tell anybody.
yeah, I thought it was, not posted. It was canceled.
Yep.
So now you're telling me they did a virtual?
They did do a virtual NEAF, and I think that's the bell toll thing for that.
Yeah,
I think Pete was right. Pete called it about 7 months ago.
Yeah, it's yeah. As I said, I don't think that it's going to definitely be able to survive. With a lot of people aren't going to be going to it anymore. You won't be able to see the vendors bringing out all kinds of the equipment anymore. That literally, you could just kind of make a deal on the spot with the distributors and the vendors. I don't think you're going to see that anymore at NEAF. And so my gut tells me I really don't know if it's even going to be able to be a viable place because I've talked to Greg Bragg at Celestron.
Yeah.
He says, I'm not going to go to it anymore. It's just, I don't think it's got the viability anymore as compared to like an AIC.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah, but
wonder how many people are going to be at AIC.
I don't know.
I don't.
I think we're going to get quite a lot of people. I mean,
I think people are itching.
I've already done a list of the vendors, and I mean, Celestron's going to be there, Prime Malucci's going to be there. Literally, all the vendors are going to be there, and the reason being is that for the speakers, and there's a whole multitude of speakers that are really talking about advanced imaging. And well, you know what it was like back 2 years ago when I met you, Eric. You came by and we started conversing then. Remember how it was after the guest speakers? Everybody would kind of go into the conference room. And
Yeah,
literally it was just a beehive of activity in there.
yeah. I mean, that I went and if there was a speaker I wanted to corner, I waited till after and then have the real conversation.
Yeah.
Like the fellow that wrote uh, the planetary and solar software. What's his name? We took him out to dinner because I really wanted to find out the ins and outs. Darn, why am I coming up with a blank here? Yeah, Auto Stacker.
Auto stacker. Okay.
Auto Stacker. The talk was interesting, but we had a bunch of questions, so we took him out to dinner.
Nice.
A handful of people. And then there was the other fellow who was talking about the advances in CMOS. And of course, the question is, okay, is it time to switch? I mean, when do we switch?
Mhm.
Or are they going to keep making advances in CMOS technology?
Yeah, right. That it's going to keep on happening. I mean, things are going to get better. Things are going to get more sensitive. The read noise is going to get, if it's possible, to get any lower than it is now.
Yeah.
And the signal to noise and the quantum efficiency is going to get hopefully a little bit higher. And if the new Sony chip is any indication of what's going to be happening in CMOS technology, I mean, it's good. It's an exciting time right now, especially for people in cruddy areas like Long Island, where you could gather these photons so quickly and not blow out your night sky.
Yeah.
Well, I switched with the new CDK. I mean, I was sitting there right on the edge. I said, okay, let's go for it. So I got the QHY 600, and it's a different animal. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
The CCD I had since the beginning, and it was, I don't want to say it was easy, but it was easy. The CMOS, there's a learning curve.
Yeah.
So, thinking, Eric, the pixel size is 3.76 on the 600, and you got CDK 20.
Whew.
You got some pretty good resolution.
Oh
How
no,
do you
you
find
don't.
your image?
No. You bin it.
Oh, you're binning. Okay, then.
Well, of course. I mean, yeah,
You have to.
you don't need 0.2
There's no choice
arc
for guys to
seconds
bin.
per pix. There's a couple reasons you bin. First of all, the size of an image is 120 megabyte if you don't bin it. Even with my big drives here, well, you can fill things up pretty quickly, especially when you go into PixInsight and they save it in their format, and all of a sudden your files are double that size.
Yep.
It can get a little crazy. So I mean, even the best seeing we get at the SRO is maybe 0.8, like in a really superb night. So when it's that good a seeing, my 0.4 arc seconds per pixel, that is bin 2, is a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Now, when the seeing is 1.5 or even 2, it's not a good match.
I wish
So,
I had 1.5 or 2 seeing.
Yeah.
so I bin everything, even though there are some people that argue that you shouldn't bin it because occasionally you might get better. But I captured a bunch of data and I didn't see it. I didn't see any improvement in detail by not binning. So I bin everything. It's still,
Yeah,
you got a
I
lot
would
of
have thought.
pixels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought you would have got probably like a camera at least 6 microns, because then you could bin it and you'd be at 10 or 12 microns for that vocal length you've got. But when I
Show me
saw
that.
that you had the
Show me
600 up
that.
there,
Show me the CMOS camera with 5 and 6 micron pixels.
that's
Good
what I
luck.
said.
Well,
Good
there's
luck.
a new one that's
I'm sorry.
coming out. I think it's close to 9. I'm trying to find it. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's-
again, at
it's
the
just coming
time,
out. It's like a 400 series.
yeah, my next camera, right? So at the time I bought it, which was last summer, the 600, the QHY 600 was apparently the camera to get next year. But I got
something
big
different.
square filters.
Yep.
I got 50
millimeters.
50 millimeter square filters just in case something like that happens.
There you go.
And I would rather have 6 micron pixels and have a lot of them with a big format, but that wasn't available.
If you want, I got a QHY 16200. It's a CCD, but you could buy it.
That's what I had before. I had the FDXL, the 16200.
Yep.
Which was a great camera, and
It's a great camera.
all the images. Yeah, I love that camera.
Yep.
And I actually sold my whole setup and in place. The guy that bought it, I said, why don't you just take the whole thing, give me money, and I can help pay for the new setup. So he just moved into my slot in building
there you go.
11.
Beautiful. Easy.
Rather than move things around.
Yeah. That's cool. All right.
Yeah. So
We do have some things to do. Oh, it's Eric. Is Eric coming back? There we go.
The ASI 432 mono. That's the one that's coming.
Yep.
It's a 9. Yeah, it's a 9 pixel. Yes, it's a 9 pixel. Oh, no, sorry, 9 micron.
Not 9.
And yeah, it's a 9.0 micron. It's a 1.1 inch. It's twice as large as the 174. It says. So look. So
I want to see the cost on that.
Yeah. It's a big one, but it's probably a hockey puck version right now. I don't know if it's a cooled one because I know I'm looking at it right now. TJ Connolly was doing solar.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so if that's the case, maybe it's an uncooled.
Yeah, most likely it's probably an uncooled, but we'll see what happens because it would be great if they did cool it. Having them that large
with a large focal length. Yeah, it'd be great.
With large focal length, that would be great. That's what people are yearning for.
9 microns would fit nicely.
Yeah.
The only one right now that's a CMOS camera is Moravian. It's a C4 16000, and it's a 9 micron size. And it's the only one that really I've been kind of talking to a lot of people who order these plane waves to say, look, if you want to do 1x1 binning, this is the only camera right now that I'm going to recommend, unless you want to get into something higher at a much more cost.
Yeah.
But as I said, it's coming in at roughly a cost of about $10K, with that included.
Wow. A lot of money for a camera.
That is a lot of money for a camera.
Oh, it is.
Well, the fortunate thing is I got the FLI filter wheel, so I'm. Oh, by the way, does it have a shutter?
Yeah. No, it's rolling shutter.
Rolling shutter.
It's a rolling shutter. Or are you talking to Eric about, or the Moravian?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say. I'm assuming it does. It's probably a rolling, or probably not.
I think all the ZWOs are rolling shutters. I don't think
are rolling shutters. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're all rolling.
I don't think they have any mechanical.
No, does it have a shutter where you can shoot flats or shoot darks?
Where you know, I don't know.
No, you need to put the lens cap on. There's no shutter.
We need to put the lens cap on.
Yeah,
we have
there's nothing. Not with the ZWOs anyway.
Yeah, not with these.
I can tell you that does not work.
What doesn't?
Putting a cover over the end of the telescope to shoot darks doesn't work. The only way you can shoot darks at the SRO, remember it's remote, is to wait till they don't open the roof some night and then shoot your, and then I have the FLI filter wheel and I have a piece of plastic in one of the positions. Turn it to that position.
Got it.
And shoot your darks.
Yeah, you got like you have a dark filter.
Yeah, almost like a dark filter.
A dark filter alone will not shut out the light. There is light leakage.
Oh yeah.
Easily see it.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. But
light gets in through the.
I tried it once. It said it's okay. Never mind.
Well, you don't have to shoot darks. How often do you shoot darks anyway? So if you get
every 3 or 4 months
to shoot darks, fine.
I shoot them. Yeah, I usually, for me personally, I shoot them like maybe every 4 to 6 months. I'll shoot it. I'll do a full library again.
I do it every like 3 to 4 because all I have is clouds and I have nothing else to do. So
this is your entertainment.
This is what I do. I live vicarious through the guests and the people on the show because I have all my gear is on this desk. I have nothing to do. Because there's nothing to do. It's been. I feel like I'm in a monsoon. I think I'm in like South America and in some jungle somewhere, and it's just raining. It's just constantly raining. We had 2 nights in a row that were clear or supposed to be clear, and both of them by 10 o'clock at night, clouds rolled in.
Yeah, same here.
Well,
we got
here's
a question
something
here
to consider.
for Eric.
Move
actually, from the audience, if we have a minute.
What was that?
Yeah, I got a question here from Cap for Eric. He wants to know what's your stance on guiding guiding versus short exposures.
Ooh, that's a recap of last week's show.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. So that's
So
yeah,
with
so
a
I
long
got
focal length telescope like mine, which is a 4-meter scope, anything past a couple of minutes, even with the L mount, even with a good calibration, you better guide. You can shoot 2-minute exposures, but then you start piling those up. My gosh, you shoot a night of 2-minute exposures, and I don't know what the calculations. It's a lot of space. It's just not worth it. Guiding it's not a big deal.
No, it's not.
By the way, I think we have someone coming up the Astro Imaging channel whose topic is the end of guiding.
That's got to be Richard Wright.
It's got to be
Yep,
Richard Wright.
Richard.
Gotta be.
He's got. We just had him on the show, and he was talking all about
Oh,
it.
did he? The end of guiding? Yeah.
Yep, he was like,
Yeah.
"You don't have to guide. Don't do it." You know.
We had a nice 2-hour chat with him in front of a Starbucks.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Well,
gets
I'll tell you,
Conversation.
with the L mount, I mean, I have a model which is really excellent. I think it's 4 RMS, which is about as good as you can get.
Yeah.
So I did the experiment where I started to expose like 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 2 minutes, and looking at the eccentricity of the stars. By 5 minutes, it was clear the eccentricity of the star was getting larger. Now you visually couldn't see it, but if it goes, start off at 0.33 and then 0.38,
Yep.
pretty soon it was up to. I said, those stars are starting to get not round. Why would you sacrifice that?
Yeah.
Just guide. What's the big deal?
There is no big deal. I mean, it's something that we've been doing for forever. I mean, you're down to a manual eyepiece guiding. I mean, that's what we were doing, and get that crink in your neck, looking in the eyepiece with a reticle, sitting there with the, trying to keep that star in the middle. It's so much easier now. I mean, for guiding and PhD guiding and Meta Guide and T-Point and all these other programs out there that's going to make your guiding easier. I understand where Rich is coming from and his theory on it, and I even though I personally I like guiding, and maybe it's because what I'm used to, and I'm not going to willing to sacrifice a possible night of screwed up stars to getting a guide scope or an off-axis guider or whatever it is to settle things out.
Well, I only have one question for you.
Sure.
What's an eyepiece?
Oh well, yeah. I think I have one. Hold on, in the closet of death. Hold on a second. I think I do.
I've got one lying around here somewhere.
Oh, here you go. Here's my eyepieces. There you go. They're in here with
Hey,
hold on a second.
I got the same bag downstairs.
Get this. And the best thing about this whole thing.
It hasn't seen the light of day in 2 years, Dan. That's the best thing, right?
There it is.
2, maybe 5. But I love this eyepiece.
I have the same that's what, a 30?
This is the 41 panoptic.
40. Yeah, I think I have the same set of eyepieces, but I never take them out I mean, they're in that same little container with the foam lighters. Yeah.
I just don't want to sell anything. I even have my original Meade Super Plossel 32 millimeter eyepiece, and I have these cruddy, not cruddy, I guess. This is, where is it? There's my my planetary Burgess TMB eyepieces, which I don't even use. But I mean,
I have a whole collection of those Teleview eyepieces.
Oh yeah,
and I mean they're worth a lot, but I don't want to sell them. But I don't
want to sell them either. That's why they're sitting here.
And they're in the same. I swear, I have the same case as you got.
Yeah, if you had Teleview eyepieces, you had to have a Teleview case. You just had to have one, because Teleview was like the creme de la creme of eyepieces, and that's what it was.
I had to do a little bit of crawling underneath a few things to finally get this thing out. So
your eyepiece case.
Yeah, good Lord. Yeah, you just I don't touch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I
You
thought
know
it
what
would
we
be
gotta
great
do?
to have, with
What?
to do with my little Schmidt here and everything, because that's when I first got it, and to have fun with the kids. But the kids, even with my kids, they're like, I don't see nothing.
Yeah.
I don't see
I
nothing.
know.
I hear you.
The kids, if the thing isn't jumping around on a screen every second or so, they're not going to stare in some eyepiece and some telescope to see a fuzzball.
Yeah. So you know
They're
what I'll
just not
do?
going
I'll
to do it.
sell all my eyepieces at a little bit more. I'll just get a Stellina and just let it sit out there, take pictures, and go. And then it'll be on an iPad. And that's it. It's fine. I can spend $4,000 on a red cat and a really tiny chip.
So what we ought to do then?
No,
We do
nah.
this show 2 times a week. There's 4 weeks in a month. We got to donate one show to an auction. And
An
what
auction.
we'll do is we'll do an auction, and we'll get rid of some of this
Well,
stuff.
I'll
so that
tell you
we
what.
remember.
As long as I can do a short commercial,
Absolutely.
since the untimely passing of Mel last December, I've been looking for a new imaging partner or the SRO. So someone that's really interested in being someplace extraordinary with an extraordinary automated setup
Trust me.
should
I tell you what,
see me
Eric,
at UIC.
Eric, you and I'll talk at the show. Seriously, because I'm only 200 miles from there. So I'll talk to you at AIC. You and I'll talk.
There you go.
Okay, I mean,
There you go.
the other thing is I've taken on another responsibility for another startup, and I just don't have the time even to look at the data. The only thing is my setup is completely automated. So anyone that wants to touch the telescope and fiddle with the knobs does not want to do remote imaging.
There
It's dialed in already.
you
Yeah.
go.
It's well, it's not
That's
perfect, but it's
Pretty close to it.
it's cranking out a lot of good images, like the 51 that you saw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
Of course, now
interesting. Is in building 12, adjacent to you is the ASI. There's a huge, like a 14-inch ASA reflector. Then there's Wes Howell's CDK 14. In the middle of the floor is a 10 micron 3000 mount with a Tech 180
yeah,
on it. It's
and
just amazing
and
to see the scope.
that's I know the origin of that. That is Tim Hutchison's scope.
Is that is
And Tim, so the story is we have a member of our club, Detlef Schmidt. I don't know if you know who Detlef is. He is the inventor of the Feather Touch focuser.
Oh,
And Detlef builds things for us. You know Detlef? And well, 4 or 5 years ago, I purchased a handmade folded refractor, which was a POS. It wouldn't hold steady. It jumped all around. And Detlef said, I've always wanted to build a folded refractor for solar. Why don't I build one for you? So he did
nice.
over a year. And now he's actually rebuilding it because he got a better design. In the process of that, I showed it to Tim Hutchison, who's also on the Astro Imaging channel, and he's getting a folded refractor too for hydrogen alpha on the sun. And during that whole process, Detlef said, I have this 180 I'm going to sell. Would you be interested in it? And Tim said yes. And that's the scope that's sitting out on against the long wall on that. Is it a 1000 or it's not a?
I think it's 1200, isn't it? Is it 1200?
No, but I'm actually looking at SRO's website. And for those who don't know or are interested in what the website is, it's sierra-remote.com. And it's pretty cool. They say they have some opportunity, some areas for smaller, short focal length, refractors, people who have just on their tripods or tri-piers and stuff like that. They'll stick them right in between these larger CDKs and stuff
I've
like
seen
that.
those. Yeah. By the way, you see all the photographs on the in the SRO site.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking
Well-
at them.
Most of them are mine.
nice.
Nice.
That's because Mel was my imaging partner, and he was looking around for. I said, "Well," he said, "I will use these." I said, "Sure." Can't beat that.
Well, speaking of photos, we have to reveal our Astro photo of the week. It's Friday night. We have to do that. And we have to give away the Masters of Pix Insight giveaway tonight. So we have to do that as well. So,
Yay, I know people have been waiting.
and well, this is the extended, this is the picture of the week extended version. So we had some issues with the website. So it's actually this is the first picture of the week for May because we didn't have one last week.
Excuse me.
No problem. It's getting late. I know. Trust me.
No, it's the yawning gene.
Oh, I have plenty of that. but
No,
what was that?
there's a gene called the yawning gene.
Oh, is there?
Anyway, the image of the week.
I have it too.
I-
I think it's hereditary. Get it from my old man.
No, sorry. So let's take a look. Let's take a look if I could do this real quick. Display 2, and here we go. So here is the Astro Picture of the Week voting. We had 24 votes. So if you're not out there voting, now that the voting works, please vote. So the winner is Dave Schaefer's Needle Galaxy. So congratulations to Dave Schaefer. Really, really good job. That means you will be eligible for voting for the picture of the month. And if you win that, you get into the AstroWorld photo calendar, which we'll be putting out probably in January or February of next year. And you'll be in that. So if you win picture of the month. So congratulations to Dave. You'll be put up on the website probably tomorrow. So congratulations to Dave.
Nice.
Nice.
Congrats, Dave.
And
Yay me! There you go. Dave saying, "Yay me!"
Go, Dave. And then we got, of course, the IP for AP giveaway we're doing tonight. So this is again for a free Masters of Pix Insight workshop. And their next workshop is Tuesday, the 24th of May. Photos to photons based on M13, and Warren Keller is going to be he's going to be doing the processing through Pix Insight. So here we go. Quick to spin. No whammies. Here we go.
Maybe. And
Bob, you just missed it. Ron Joynick. Ron, congratulations. You'll be getting an email from myself and from Peter Proul over at IP for AP and Masters of Pix Insight on how to redeem your winning. So congratulations to Ron. Very good.
all right, very cool.
Very, very good. I gotta save those screens, or else I always forget to send out the emails. But but congratulations, Ron. Nice job. So we have a ton of these giveaways that we're giving away. Giving away stuff 2, sometimes 3 things a week. And
When is the our first set of Optilongs? When's our giveaway?
The first set of Optilongs goes out, I believe it's the last Friday of the month in June, because we're still trying to get people to sign up for the giveaway. So let's see, what did I put on there? AstroWorldWeb.com. If you go down to the bottom, it says on the rules on the giveaway when it's going to start or when it's going to be given away. So the Optilong will be given away on the last Friday of the month, starting in June, all the way through till the end of the Thanksgiving show. That that Friday, that last Friday. It's going to be the SHO 3 nanometer set. We're giving that away for Thanksgiving, so you'll have it for Christmas. So we have a 1 1/4 planetary filter set, which includes the UV IR cut, the RGB, and an IR pass. We got the 2-inch L Pro we're giving away, 2-inch L Enhanced, 2-inch L Extreme, a 2-inch LRGB set, and the 2-inch 3nm narrowband set. So all that's going to be given away. So thank you to Optalong. And don't forget all the other giveaways, the CCTS, the Woodland Hills, the Photoshop Creative Cloud giveaway that our Jerry Valdez gave to us, and the Prima Luce. I mean, we got a bunch of stuff going on. So sign up for all. We have 39 people signed up for Woodland Hills, 38 for the IP for AP, 66 for the Eagle we have right now. 42 for CCTS, 25 for Creative Cloud, and 26 for Optalong. So we would like to kick that up a little bit. So everybody sign up, get in. One person per household, please. One person per household. There you go.
Eric, I have a question for you. For the membership, if people want to take a look at your images on AstroBin, do you have the web link what they could go to, and then maybe Dan can post that as the banner at the bottom of the screen?
Yeah. Is it Eric Coles 44? Because I was trying to find it. I wasn't sure if that was you.
It's hold on one second. Let me look it up. I'll just give you the link.
Yeah.
And while Eric's looking that up again, to our viewership and our audience, don't forget, if you like the content we're giving, that we're sharing with you, Eric taking his time out, to share his expertise and his techniques, and and everything else we're doing here on AstroWorld. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up here on YouTube, because it really helps out the algorithm, as well as share the show. Even if if you're on Facebook, share the show there. So we would really appreciate that. So remember, the more that you guys can help us out, the more we can help everybody else out as well in the audience. So,
and don't forget, and don't forget also, if you're Sunday night and it's cloudy, or even if it's not cloudy and you're imaging and you just want to listen to something, go check out the Astro Imaging channel as well. There are a ton of reasons. They are a great resource. I've been watching it for a long, long time, and I think I was talking to Eric about it. I forget who it was. We were talking about the kid that was doing it from his kitchen a couple years back, with the fridge in the background. But but it was good stuff. It was great. It was such a great resource. And it still is. It continues to be relevant, and they continue to fill up their guest list. I don't know how you guys do it, but you continue to fill it up. Every Sunday they have somebody. It's awesome. So whoever's doing your recruitment, if it's you, I got to give you.
No, we all, everyone, all our principals, half dozen of us, we all try to recruit. And I can tell you, it's probably the most difficult thing that we do is to get people who will come on and spend an hour and a half of their time doing something of interest to Astro. By the way, I posted the link to my AstroBin site on the chat. See that?
In the YouTube chat? Yeah, okay. I don't have enough screens. I need another screen. Let's see, so I'll grab it. Give me 1 second.
Do you have it?
Let me get back on YouTube. I'll grab it and I'll put it across. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And I'm sure everyone here.
Mike G was even asking us, in addition to Eric's AstroBin leak, maybe we should put up our own as well. So whenever we get a chance to do that. So,
well, I think AstroBin is probably the place to be if you don't want to maintain your own site. I thought about putting up my own site, but it's so much work, and he really does an excellent job.
He does.
And,
he does.
I donate to him just because it's just a fantastic thing. It really is.
I have a Patreon. I have a Patreon subscription. to ask
Even
for Ben.
before he had a paid subscription, when he was just asking, I always donated because
too.
it's a lot easier and cheaper. Plus, you have an audience and you have a place. I mean, anytime I want to look up a target, practically the first thing I do is I go to AstroBin and see, okay, what does that target look like? And it's always there. People have always
Yep.
shot it before. And you get a real good idea what to expect.
Yeah, you do, for sure.
Yeah.
So
It's a
let's
great
see.
resource.
It is. So let me take a look here. And I'll actually, if I can, I don't know if I can do links or not, but I'm going to do this here really fast.
If you're on YouTube, doesn't it come up on the YouTube chat?
Yeah, I'm just trying. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it.
If you go on YouTube, don't you have a chat running? Can't you just
Yeah, I
paste it
do,
on
and I just don't. Did you put it in there? Because I don't see it in there. That's fine.
No, I put it in the local chat, in the room chat.
Oh, you were able to do that?
Yeah, you just click on the chat button and then cut and paste. See it?
Yeah, I still don't see it in there. I'm looking, and I don't see
Yeah.
it.
So on the bottom, it has a chat button, right?
Yep, I just don't see your entry. That's all. Let's see.
No, I see it. It's
I
there.
see it.
Why don't I don't?
Yeah,
see
it's
it.
there.
Yeah, it's there.
Doesn't help me if I can't see it.
I understand.
And if someone's monitoring YouTube, you can put it in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I think
Pete just sent it to me, so
Oh no, that's
that's yours.
that's mine. I'm gonna get you. I'll get
That's
you.
yours.
I'll get you Eric's. Hold on. Well, Eric's.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
but
We'll
we'll get it.
grab it. Yeah, it didn't come up for them either, so not sure. Very odd. Something funky.
Yeah, I know. If anybody is, I just posted mine. If you guys see a post from me, let me know if you see mine at all. But just let me know. Yeah, because even when I pull it up, there, Eric, it's actually just showing. It doesn't give the final hash. The
Yeah, I
final
don't see
slash.
anything.
It just says
Oh, it's-
astroband/users.
It's okay.
Really?
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
Looks
So,
like Sean
we-
Nielsen is with us. Sean
Yeah,
Nielsen.
Sean did. Yep.
He's doing a. Looks like he's doing a Newtonian setup at F3.
Yeah.
So he's doing
Hey,
some work.
yes, hey Dan, if you check the Facebook admins,
Okay.
Eric's in there. It's his links in there.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then you can just go ahead and drop it in.
Yep. I will do that.
Yep.
All right, there we go. My computer's moving a little bit slow. There we go.
Yep.
I got it. Yeah. Oh, Cole's 44. That's what I was asking. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Copy. And there you go. It's in the YouTube chat. There we go. Beautiful. Awesome.
Yeah, I just dropped mine in there as well because for some reason I can't
Yeah,
put
it's
URL.
weird. I don't know why.
I guess maybe it's just because you're the owner or you're.
It could be. That's okay. I'll put both yours up. There you go. There's that.
Yeah.
And let's see if I
Yeah,
can
since you're the moderator of the channel. Yep, that's right.
Let's see. I got Pete's here too. So give me a second. Copy.
I like the Christmas tree, Eric.
Yeah, that was funny. I saw that with the streamers.
Which one?
Yeah.
The Christmas
Which
tree
one?
with the streamers and the extra lights and the
that
star.
was every couple of years I make a new Christmas tree out of something or other. You know, I can tell you that we don't want to take what we're doing all that seriously. You know, we're not scientists, we're not discovering black holes.
No.
Let's have a little fun with it. In
Oh,
fact, a year ago Thanksgiving, I sent in a submission as a potential APOD called the Great Turkey Nebula, in which I basically sort of superimposed a turkey over M42, and they ran it.
You got to show him Jar Jar.
I'm going to. I'm getting it up right now.
And that was the most fun image, the Great Turkey Nebula.
You gave me a weird link there. There we go. Oh my God, that's a long one. Okay. Copy.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, but that's Pete's. It actually does work. Enter. I can't even send it. It's too long of Pete. I can't send yours. It's too long. Too many characters. You sent it through Facebook. You got to give me the actual AstroBin link for me to put it up.
I'll send it to you by email. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine, and I'll do that. But let's see. So if I could show you that real quick. So I have something on the similar, and then we'll let's see. I got too many hard drives, just like everybody else here. And where is it? There it is. And yeah, so somebody, I don't know if you're a Star Wars fan, but somebody, I put a really, it's not a great picture of the horse head. It's HA only. It's very noisy. I kind of overdid it, whatever. And they said the horse head looked like Jar Jar Binks from Star Wars, from the prequels. And so, of course, I had to get wise. So I did this really quick. And you kind of see it. I put Jar Jar in the middle of the horse head. I kind of color toned it so that it made the same thing. So I have that every once in a while. I pop that up. I just thought it was kind of funny.
I love that one, man.
I love it too.
You gotta have fun with it. You gotta have fun with it.
Absolutely.
But hey Dan, I updated, and sent you Pete's. It's updated.
Thank you.
Without the
I couldn't do all that at once.
Yeah, so now you should be good to go now if you want to just go ahead and post it. So
got it.
Awesome.
Done. Gave me yours, I think. Oh no, there you go. That's it.
No, that's Pete's.
I just copied your name too.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Cool.
There's a few things here. Yeah, so Josh, he's still working on his Z130.
He's been working on that for a while.
Yeah. So
that zoom out.
Grab maybe a short extension tube, something like that. See how that works. Like these small. This is like an Orion extension tube. I think this actually gives you a full 55 if you run this, like with even these little hockey pucks, and you slide this into your hole, either a diagonal or into your back into your focus rod tube, and it gives you like almost like 55 right there. And that was when I was playing around with. It's kind of handy. It was pretty handy for me.
There you go.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are waiting on your shirts,
just an FYI, because you posted it with my name on there. That's not.
That's Pete's. That's Pete's. But for those of you that are waiting for your shirts, they're coming, and be on the lookout for some of these. I'm throwing them randomly in boxes so you could have them. They're worthless, but you could have them. I'll throw them in the boxes.
No. I loosened up a filter on my DSLR with one of those.
Oh yeah, but when you're trying to take like 3 millimeter spacers out together, if you're using filters, they come off great. They got something to grab on. You know what I mean? These things are very smooth. Where if you're trying to do spacers or extension tubes, it's just gonna spin. You're gonna find something else. But
I had
But-
a filter on my DSLR that was
yeah,
on permanently. I thought that was it. It's done. I'm gonna have to throw away the lens. So finally, I put it in a vise that was padded. And I said, it's coming off, or else,
good for you.
I'm gonna. And I said, okay, here it goes, and click. Came
Yeah,
off.
I mean, for filters, they're great because filters got those kind of little like notches on them that you
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
grab. This will grab onto those notches, and that's what this is made for. This is actually made to get filters off of lenses, and it's not really made. We kind of repurposed it for other things for astrophotography, but I've tried. These things are a lot thicker than 3 millimeters, and even you're not going to be able to get them off. I couldn't get these things apart. I put them in a freezer. I did every single trick I could think of, and finally, I literally took a 30 millimeter space that I had. I cranked it down and and cracked it back, and it came off. But
It's either that or it's gonna be shattered, right?
yeah, one or the other. I mean, it's only a 3 millimeter. What is it? $7 piece. I mean, I'll just go get another one. But I needed it now. We're all impulse people. We need things now. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I need it. I have it. It's here. I can use it. I just can't use it. But yeah, But anyway, we're coming up on like 2.5 hours. So I mean, it's
So you're gonna call? Do you guys hang after you close the stream, or you?
yeah. Well, we could hang out after after we close the stream. You don't have to. Don't be afraid to stick around. We'll stick
No,
around.
my wife hasn't come in and started drumming her nails on it. It's like, is it done yet? Are you done?
Are you finished? It's dinner time. All right.
I see, Pete. You have sunshine out there.
Oh yeah,
I
he's
do. You've got sunshine. So for the first time tomorrow, I'm taking out the system and I'm going to run with it. And I've also got to test one of my clients, Takahashi 130. I've got it all up and running, so I'm going to go ahead and test it. And then we're going to ship it down. They're going to put it with their Plane Wave 17 at Terra del Sol, just east of San Diego.
nice. Nice. All right, so let's just throw it around for some final thoughts, and we'll start with our guest, Eric.
I don't have any final thoughts, but thanks for having me out. I hope maybe there was a little process trick or two that I might have passed along that people can use, which is what I look for when I watch these programs. Just a little something I can add to my processing technique. The
Absolutely.
new thing that I'm committed to before the next new thing that I'm committed to. So, thanks for having me out. It's always a pleasure. I enjoy doing it, and maybe we can do it again sometime.
Absolutely. Whenever you're ready to come on, do a repeat. Eric, the other Eric.
And the other Eric.
This is
Yeah,
Daryl.
no,
This is my other brother, Daryl. No,
There
sorry.
it is. There it is. No, but again, Eric, thank you for joining us. I actually learned quite a bit, especially I had no idea about this new script for Pix Insight, so that was really cool, as well as, these other additional techniques. I don't use Photoshop as much as I would use APP or Pix Insight. So, but thank you. I do appreciate you coming on. And no, but besides that, I think it was a fun show. I thought it was a great show. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to, just taking it easy for the weekend and relaxing. I've got a soon-to-be 16-year-old, so we're going to be celebrating a birthday. So,
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Congrats.
Yeah. So the daughter's going to be 16. So, and have some fun.
Right, then we got John Wayne on the bottom right, the quiet man.
Get a quiet man.
Yeah, bookmark this for all the people that are in. Bookmark this episode so you can go back in and rewatch it, because that process was really, really cool. I was taking mental notes and thinking, yep, I'm going to be watching this one again. So
Yeah,
definitely bookmark, and kudos to Eric for coming in.
Well, thank you.
Pete?
Eric, a sincere thank you very much for taking the time to come on, and also to the viewer membership. If you're available on Sundays, definitely tune in to the Astro Imaging channel. As I said, you'll probably get more information on processing techniques. And I'm waiting for Eric when he says, well, he's already imaged all of the targets in the Northern Hemisphere and there's nothing else to do. Well, Eric, it's time to write that book.
Yeah.
Lessons from the Masters, volume 2. We're waiting
No,
for it.
no. That will never happen. Fortunately, with the long focal length scope, there's a lot more individual targets.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
I'm thinking we're probably getting down to what, Mag 20, Mag 21.
No, what you can really do with the long focal length scopes is you can get up close and personal with galaxies, and that's what you can't do if you got 1159 focal length. So 4 and 4+ meters, gives you a lot more galaxy targets. And then the other thing is there's a lot of individual structures, interesting structures within certain nebula, like the whirling dervish within the Sol Nebula, that is worthwhile imaging all by itself. You don't, and that's what another thing the long focal length will give you, a lot more targets.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
Merlot
cool.
15.
Yeah, I was thinking it's just
That's
looking
another.
at your astral
Oh.
I mean, it's incredible to see the targets you've chosen and the detail that you put into it. I mean, amazing photographs. And I really recommend the viewer membership. Definitely take a click on Eric's website, AstroBin website. You'll be amazed to see the images that he's got. It's really spectacular, Eric.
Well, thank you. I'll bring my wife in here and you can tell her that.
He's just trying to get another camera.
Well, I've already made a mental note of the 9-pixel CMOS.
There you go. There you go.
It's the Moravian C4 16,000.
Yeah, or the was it the 420? What is it, Eric? The ZWO one also?
What, the new one?
Yeah, the 9.
Yeah, the 9 one is the 432
432.
mm.
There you go. Yeah. So hopefully that's a trend to come, because that's been a couple of things that we've spoken about throughout the course of the show of what do you do if you have 3,000 plus millimeters of focal length? Where can you get these large pixel cameras that you can need? And if you don't want a bin, can you get something over 5 micron pixels? And it's tough to find unless you go to CCD, and then you get the 6 to 7s and stuff like that. You could get these bigger pixel sizes, but now it looks like that there's a couple of just like it'll go the same way of these these harmonic mounts that keep on popping up. It started with the obviously the Hobum and those guys, and then Sharp Star came out with one, then ZWO came out with one, now Pegasus is coming out with one. So it's going to start coming out, and I'm hoping that for the larger focal length people out there, that this is a trend that will continue to happen, where they get these CMOS chips with the larger micron pixel sizes, which would be kind of cool.
Well, just as a note, even when you bin the QHY 600, so you go from 9,600 pixels to 4,800 pixels.
Right.
That's still a lot of pixels.
Yeah, it's still
that's more pixels than any of the CCDs have.
That is true.
I mean, what is the the 603,
16803?
It has 4,000.
Yep.
And even binning the 600, you have 4,800 across. I mean,
the detail. Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. That 600's a killer camera though. That's crazy, that camera. Yeah, I just got a 268, and I'm loving that. So the QHY. So that's pretty cool. But
yeah, it's like the 2600.
Yep. A little different with the firmware, but other than that, it's pretty cool. But all right. So it's 10:37. It's time to say the shot. Who's gonna sing the Shana Na tune? Anyone gonna sing the Shana? No, nobody. Okay.
No, but just looking at some of these other comments, just of that people were popping in, and it just reminds me of the fifth element. Multi-layered high pass, multi-pass.
Oh no. I gotta get that train, the off the rails comic that I want to get, and put it through the screen. But eventually, I'll have time to make that. But Eric, it's been great to have you. Thank you so much for taking time with us and showing us some Photoshop techniques. Has been awesome. I mean, the layering, that tone mapping is just when you get that separation, it's unbelievable, especially with the dark structure enhancement, and it really, 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 really opened my eyes to Photoshop. So thank you so
I
much for that.
appreciate that.
No, yeah, it's awesome.
So is this good night now?
This is good night, sweetheart.
Yeah.
This is good night, sweetheart. So everybody have a good night. Thank you for watching. Come check us out. Come check out in a couple of days, 2 days. You got the Astro Imaging channel, 9 p.m. Eastern, right?
9:30.
9:30 Eastern.
9:30. Follow us on YouTube.
Yep.
You can join in the conversation. Ask questions to the presenter. I don't know who's presenting this week. And of course, next week we're all taking a break, right? We're going out to AIC.
Yeah, I think we'll be on, but I mean, the week after that, I think I'm going to Cherry Springs, so we got to figure something out. Well, I'll be there for the Cherry Springs Star Party, and hopefully, let's see if the weather gods cooperate with us. But everyone's saying thank you for the show. Everyone's saying thank you to you, Eric, for coming on. So awesome job tonight. Thank you so much, everybody, and thanks for all your watchers. If you're new to the show, thank us by subscribing and liking, and hit the bell and find out when we're on next. We're on every Wednesday and Friday for the last 2 years we've been on, and it's been awesome. So thank you for all the support. Go check us out on Discord and all the other social media outlets. Everyone's making fun of me with the Shana now, but thank you, everybody. Have a good night. And remember, as always, keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And we'll see you on Wednesday night. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night,
There
everyone.
we go.